name is Stephanie Lambert, and I am the Chief Compliance Counsel for NetScout Systems in Westford. I'm on the board of directors for the Northeast chapter, and I'm currently serving as Vice President. I work on the Communications Committee and also some membership issues right now. I first got involved in ACC about 10 years ago. I had attended the national annual meeting and found it to be a very useful event. And so I volunteered actually first for the Law Department Management Network, which is a national network. Got involved there and met some people. One person that I met, Jeff Levinson, recommended that I also try to get involved with the Northeast chapter. So he invited me along, and that's how I started on my journey here in the Northeast chapter. Got involved with ACC, my goal was really for professional development. And then I learned about the advantages to networking. And so I enjoyed the professional development opportunities on the national level, but I hadn't really met a lot of folks from the Boston area. So when I got involved in the Northeast chapter, my goal there was to try to do more in-person networking. My children had grown a bit, so I was, I had more flexibility to do some things outside of home, in the city, attending meetings, those types of things. So, I had lots of opportunities to do that, and that's been really one of the nice things, is more of the personal interactions that I've enjoyed as part of the Northeast chapter. Well, my involvement with ACC started at a different employer, and I think it's important that your employer support those activities, because sometimes it does bleed into your day. But at the end of the day, you are developing yourself, and it's an easy way to take some risks. So I think if you start with employer support, then I think you'll be on the right track. I think in terms of juggling and the time commitment, I have a great partner at home who does his share. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do. I think that I spend sometimes some evening time doing it, or sometime on the weekend. But I think it all kind of works out pretty evenly. You also get a lot of support from those who are joining these organizations with you. Your colleagues, if you will, on the board are very supportive, and also understanding of the time commitment. And it also presents a good example for my children, who are now teenagers, that I'm giving back, I'm involved in my profession, and they see some of the good things that come out of that. So I think all in all, it's worth the effort. And it's also enabled me, indeed, after 10 years, to have seen some of the professional development opportunities really bear fruit, with either speaking or learning new things, meeting people, all of those things over time help support your career. Definitely my involvement in the ACC paid off dividends when I was laid off from my prior employer in the fall of 2019. I was able to start a job search with some connections to begin with, not simply, folks you met on LinkedIn, but really relationships that I had developed through law firms, through other lawyers in different companies, and then the leaders with the ACC-Northeast chapter. So I guess the best example is that, to illustrate this, is that the person who got me involved in the ACC, Jeff Levinson, is currently my boss. So a 10-year professional relationship, a mentoring relationship, led to a great opportunity that's enabled me to take on some new areas. Jeff knew me well enough to trust that I could develop into these new areas and test myself and challenge myself. And I've had some great opportunities now in my current role, almost a year. So I would attribute that to all the investment of time that I put in over the past decade that has landed me in a good place with a host of opportunities available to me. best way for a new or newer attorney or new to the ACC Northeast to get involved would be to join one of our committees or speak on a program, get to meet some of the people who are involved, find out how you might be able to contribute. It doesn't take a huge commitment of time to do something like that. And you'll start to meet people, you'll start to understand how the organization works and that there are a lot of opportunities and you can be as involved as you want to be. You can dip your toe in it or you can take on a leadership role. So that's what I would recommend. And for newer attorneys, we do have the Next Generation committee, and that committee would be of your peers. So if you're looking for some peer interaction of in-house counsel at other companies, that's a great place to start if you're less than 10 years in an in-house position. So there's a multitude of ways, a multitude of interests that we can address, whether it's pro bono work, whether you want to work on your speaking skills. We even have a newsletter where you could do some writing. So there are just many ways to get involved.